And good morning. Sorry, it was like a minute or two late here. I was on and everything was set, and then it booted me. I guess sometimes with the wind, maybe the internet went out a little bit. But I hope everyone is doing well and hanging in there. We are in week number 5. We have passed the halfway point of our 8-week class that we have together. Thank you so much for those of you who are here with me live, or even if you're watching it later, thank you. Can you all hear me and see me okay? Just making sure everything is coming through clearly before I jump in here. Wait just a sec. Lost something here. There we go. Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you so much for letting me know. So, my plan for today is let's go over a little bit of feedback from the last 2 weeks, and then we will talk about what we have going on this week for week number 5. And of course, if you have any questions at any point, feel free to ask. But let's go ahead and go over to Canvas together. And as I said, we are right here in week number 5. Weeks 5 and 6 opened up on Monday and will close on Sunday 11/19 at 11:59 p.m. So for the last 2 weeks, weeks 3 and 4, let's take a quick look at some of the things that we had going on in those weeks, just a little bit of quick feedback. Discussions 5 and 6. So discussion number 5 was on dreams. I really enjoyed hearing about all your dreams. Really nice job, like looking at the different interpretations of those dream theories. Number one reason that people lost points was not describing the theories and how they connected to their dreams. Some people just said like, oh, theory number 1, and then ran with it. I really wanted you to describe each of the theories you selected in order to get credit. Let's see here. Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second here. I just gotta. Okay. Sorry, I just got a message from my daughter's school that she slipped and hit her head, but she's okay. So sorry for the interruption. My daughter falls all the time, and so she probably had that happen today, and luckily she's fine at least. So sorry for that. Discussion number 6. Let's take a look at that really quickly here. The Office, right? So you were looking at this clip from The Office, identifying the different components, right, of getting conditioned to hold out his hand to the sound of the computer ding for an Altoid. The number one reason that people lost points here was on this last bullet. A few people wrote about things that weren't classical conditioning. So if you use the word like reward or punish, it was probably operant conditioning. Or you gave me an example but didn't kind of describe it in enough detail to show me that you understood those connections. But overall, really nicely done. By far, the unit on learning is the hardest unit that we cover this semester. So if you're feeling good about that, pat yourself on the back. That can definitely be a little bit challenging with all of that terminology. For week number 4, we had discussion 7 and 8. So for discussion number 7, we were looking at memory. I hope you enjoyed trying to think of ways you could hold on to that 28-digit sequence of letters and numbers. You didn't actually have to memorize it, which you would have done if you took this in person with me. The biggest reason people lost points was not giving me enough detail. So some of you said like, oh, I'd use chunking but didn't show me how, or I'd create a story but didn't give me the story. Or people gave me the same 2 methods for seconds versus days. So that was the biggest reason people lost points for that one. And then on number 8, discussion 8, you were looking at intelligence, fun reading your descriptions of that and things you can do to increase that. I wanted a little bit more on this last bullet from some of you. Some of you said like standardization, reliability, and validity, but you didn't really describe them or give me examples or anything. That was probably the number one reason people lost points here. But overall, really nicely done on the discussions. It feels like most of you have kind of settled in to knowing what I'm looking for and expecting. Don't forget to continue replying to a classmate. I know it's only 2 points, but they are a very easy 2 points to get, and you want to make sure that you are getting them. With the second exam, a lot of people did beautifully. It looked like most of you had plenty of time to take the test. A lot of A's on there. Continue to use these as a learning experience. If you're getting really good scores, keep it up. If you wish you had done a little bit better, we are halfway through. You still have plenty of time to kind of tweak your strategy a little bit. So see if you can maybe alter it a little to studying differently or studying a little bit more. But most of you are doing really well on the exams, which makes me very happy to see. So we leave weeks 3 and 4 behind and enter into weeks 5 and 6. So this week for week number 5, which we'll focus on today, and then next week we'll focus on week 6. For week 5, we're looking at chapter 9 on motivation and chapter 10 on emotions. So as always, you're going to want to do 3 things with the chapters. Make sure that you read chapter 9 in the textbook or the ebook. Read through the lecture and watch any lecture videos and everything that's there. And then watch the lecture video where I'm lecturing to some PowerPoint slides. So make sure you do all 3 of those things. Same thing for chapter 10. We have 2 discussions and a self-assessment this week, so let's talk about those a little bit. Discussion number 9, which you're doing for this week. With discussion number 9, as always, watch my little video. Here are the instructions up here at the top. The topic for discussion 9 is motivation with a specific focus of hunger. So what I want you to think about here is you're going to come up with a fad diet that you've either tried yourself or maybe it's something you've heard about. You're going to report the main components of that diet, including how it works, what you're required to do or not do, or eat or not eat. What are the advantages and disadvantages, or another way of thinking of that might be the rewards and dangers. What do you think and then what role do you think the media, like movies, TV, music, magazines, etc., plays in contributing to the negative self-views that come with wanting to lose weight or eating disorders such as anorexia and bulimia? So those are your questions for this one. Don't forget to reply and then also reply to a classmate. And again, this can be a diet that you've done or one that you've heard of, but you're going to be writing about that a little bit and looking it up. Discussion number 8, discussion number 10, skipping down here, sorry about that. Again, my instructions, my video, this one is all about the different theories of emotion. And so what I want you to do is an explain emotional reaction that you've had from all 3 theories. So you can make up an event or you can talk about something that happened recently in your life. So for example, my kids won their soccer game and they go to the championship game. And so I felt very happy and excited. I would explain that emotional reaction of happiness or excitement from the James Lang theory, Cannon-Bard theory, and Schachter-Singer theory. So what are the order of events that would have happened, explaining it from each one. Feel free to be creative and have fun with this. You can come up with something real or you can make it up, but make sure it's all 3 theories. The second part is what are some ways to spot a lie? You can reference the lecture or your own personal experiences, but make sure you're specific and go into detail. And then just for fun, I created a 2 truths and a lie video. I did rehearse and practice because I'm a pretty awful liar. But if you want to watch this and try and figure out which one is the lie, you're welcome to do that for fun. It's a few years old, but I think it's I still seem to manage to trick people some of the time. So feel free to watch it. I will reveal after these 2 weeks which one was true and which one wasn't. But that is there just for fun. So make sure you do both of those 2 discussions that we have going on this week for week number 5. There's also a little self-assessment. And with that self-assessment, I'm looking for you to kind of take a moment to reflect on your grades so far at the halfway point of the class. So, how are you feeling about your scores? Is there anything that you want to do differently or change as we move into the last half? Just kind of answering those questions. It's worth 5 points, but please be honest. This is more for you and your progress and approach than anything else. So take a few minutes to complete the survey, give me your feedback, and hopefully that will give you a chance to reflect as we go into the second half of our class. Okay, so those are the big things for this week. Chapter 9, Chapter 10, Discussion 9 and 10, Self-Assessment number 2, and then of course we have the extra credit, which I'll give you in a couple of moments here. I do have a couple of quick reminders for you, and I'll see if you have any questions for me. Reminder number 1, let me put this here in the chat. Right, if you could take a quick moment to double check your subscription status. About 8 or 9 people have fallen off since last week. So if you could just make sure you're still subscribed. And if you aren't, renew that. If you've never figured it out, we still have half the class left. I would love for you to figure that out. It benefits you and it helps me as well. You have no ads. And then if you're watching this later as a recording, you can still get those extra credit points if you are subscribed. So that is another benefit to you. The other reminder I have for you, our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, November 15th at 11:30 a.m. Okay, so I put that in the chat that our next live stream will be on Wednesday next week, November 15th at 11:30 in the morning. I hope that you'll join me. That will be for week number 6. We'll look at the week number 6 requirements, including the exam. If you have any questions about the study guide or exam, that is a great time to ask me. The other thing I have for you today is let me just give you that Twitch extra credit questions so that you can get the 2 points for joining me. Or if you're watching this later as a recording, you can still get those 2 points if you are subscribed. So here's the week number 5 extra credit question. Let me put it in the chat. What is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Explain and give an example of each. What is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Explain and give an example of each. And if you'd like to answer that, you go right here to optional Twitch extra credit number 5, since we're in week number 5. Click on that. Click on Start Assignment up here at the top, and then that will bring up your text box where you can type your response and then hit submit. And that'll give you that little confetti burst and balloons, it looks like. But you feel free to do this anytime before Sunday the 19th at 11:59 p.m. to get those extra credit points. I love that several of you are doing this. Those points are definitely going to help and add up, so that makes me happy to see. But otherwise, get going on week number 5. Week number 6 is open for you if you'd like to work ahead. But next week when I'm here, I will focus on week number 6. So what I'll do is I'll hang out for a few minutes if you do have any questions for me. Otherwise, we are kind of officially done and you are welcome to go. Get going on week number 5. I'm going to minimize my video, but I will hang out if you do have any questions for me. I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. Hang in there. Thanksgiving is definitely coming up and we are past the halfway point, so definitely well on our way. So have a wonderful week, everyone. Thank you so much for those of you joining me live or watching this later. And again, I'll hang out for a few minutes if you have any questions for me. Thank you as well. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, wonderful day. It's windy today, right? So my kids this morning, it's a very blustery day, like very Pooh Bear, right? Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all being here live with me. It's really nice to know that you are there, even if I can't see you. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. And I will, of course, post the recording of this a little bit later once it's gone through its upload and download and all of that kind of stuff.